Well, shit, that was fast. I didn't expect to be playing ARMS again this soon, but to be fair, there was a second global Testpunch, and they actually did add on to it compared to the first one. But man, this is the bestest game ever. Am I right, gents?
The O's have been scheduled way too early. Where I was expecting more O's for at least another month.
Well, the O's are back in full force, and did I just hear a eh? Explain yourself, good sir.
Well, it's actually more of a meh. But yeah, just to go ahead and give context, at the time of us recording this, I was actually quick enough to go ahead and try out the last
second Testpunch.
Yeah, the Testpunch that they had. And I'll elaborate real quick as far as connection goes, because I know that's probably something people are curious about because of my rather controversial internet connection. The worst I was able to get was that sometimes I wouldn't get past the player lobby, where you wait for games, and twice I prematurely got kicked out of a match. But other than that, everything seemed to run really smooth. Like, there was no lag, and I didn't really notice any input delay, so... But that's pretty much the only praise I'll give to this devil damn game, because in case that wasn't apparent, I don't like ARMS.
Aw, you don't like ARMS? What did ARMS ever do to you, Steve?
Okay, well...
Aside for kick your ass a few too many times.
Well, it's not even so much that. It's just a lot of things. Like, I guess we should probably go ahead and warn people right now. A good chunk of this video is gonna have a lot of salt in it, just from my experience from the Testpunch. So I hope people are prepared for that.
I have my own things to talk about the game, but I will say, first of all, Jordy's also here. Welcome, Jordy.
Hi, Jordy.
Hi, they kind of dragged me in here. I don't know what the heck's going on.
Because, yeah, you weren't here in the last Testpunch video, I don't believe.
No, I wasn't. I was doing my own thing.
Ow, 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 ow. Oh, by the way, it should be mentioned real quick, for the second Testpunch, they actually added in Twin Tail by popular demand, and I can definitely see why by looking what's in front of me.
And no, that's not what he's talking about.
AKA, this is the way Switch will be saved.
Yeah.
Through butts. Also, that's another thing I noticed that's actually a pretty neat detail. Every fan that is dressed as the fighter who lost, express, no,
my hero! I feel betrayed.
But anyway, sorry, so yeah, Jordy's joining us for this session today, as we will be seeing some of the new modes, such as a new sports game, which we'll be seeing up ahead, a new point-based game, and as well as, for the first time ever, an actual, sort of cooperative sort of game mode. Anyway, so first we'll have James explain this, and then we'll let Hype get back to the Salt Fest.
Yep. This is the basketball minigame. No basketball? No problem. Just use your opponent instead. Now, it may seem like a normal match on the surface level, but here's what you have to do. Grab your opponent, and then throw him right to the hoop. Like such.
It automatically aims for the hoop.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's really what this game is. They really could have made it simpler by just saying grab to win. If you grab your opponent, you get a point. Just automatically. You'll just get it.
Well, it's not just grabbing. There's also... I'm not sure if James shows it off, but it also counts if you activate your hyper move against them, or whatever it's called, where it's like your rapid punch attack.
Yep, that also counts.
But yes, I'm just going to say right off the bat, conceptually I'm fine with this, except for the fact that it revolves around throwing, which maybe it's just me, but I swear the throwing in this game is incredibly finicky, because during the Testpunch, I've had occasions where I swear my arms were connected to the player, but it would not execute the throw at all.
Actually, can I actually add on to that, Steve? I actually know what the problem is. Apparently, if your internet connection is not terribly good, then it will mean that certain aspects of the actual ARMS game will feel a little faulty, namely landing a punch or grabbing. Because I've had a few very rare cases where when I wouldn't be able to grab onto the opponent, and I did realize it was because my internet connection wasn't that stable at the time.
Okay, so I guess that probably does explain why it wouldn't let me throw a lot. So it gets a pass on that. Doesn't excuse any of the other problems I have so far.
Such as?
Well, one of them is involving... Oh, another match. Another thing I will go ahead and get off right off the bat is the motion control, which, since I figured that was the big thing with the game, I decided I'd try off with the motion control first during that little tutorial section, only to find out the hard way that the motion controls are horrible. Like, punching, doing the actual punching motions, that's responsive, but everything else, particularly moving the character around, was just horrible. I switched immediately back to the controller saying as soon as that practice match was over.
Oh, well, I guess in all fairness, we did say in the first one that the controls were going to take some getting used to, and moving, I will agree, is like the hardest part, because, again, you pretty much have to tilt both controllers as if you were steering a freaking plane.
Yes, and it is very cumbersome, or at least I thought it was really cumbersome. Same thing with guarding.
Two each their own. I'll agree that's not for everyone.
And it was especially annoying with guarding, because I thought I got the motion right, where it's like you have to act like you're crossing your arms to do it, but a lot of times when I tried to guard, it would not register the motion I'm doing, so it wouldn't guard at all.
Huh. That's weird, because if I'll be perfectly honest, I do think guarding is the best on the motion controls, just because it's so easy to do, unlike on a natural controller where you have to push the control stick, and whoever does that anymore, let's be fair here.
I will admit, what am I trying to say? I did forget that you could actually do that for the guard.
That's fair. Jordy, what do you have to say about what you've seen so far?
I don't know, honestly, and I do apologize. I kind of wasn't paying attention. I'm staring at my phone.
Jeez. No love for the
Sorry.
arms today. But anyway, with this new Testpunch, they obviously added in a few new features. Obviously, again, Twintel was added in by popular demand. There's a few new mini-games. Right. And they actually brought in a new arena, the Ramen Bowl.
Oh, Min stage.
Mm-hmm. Pretty cute theme, all things considered.
Also, I apologize for some interruptions. I actually will probably not be able to stay for the entirety of this video.
Oh, really? What's going on?
Just, family things happening.
Gotcha.
It's a thing where there's a youngin's birthday coming up, and so they need to make a run in order to get the gift for said, quick, sudden festivity coming along. And while they do that, someone needs to hold down the fort and look after other youngins, because we just love having youngins in this house at all hours of the day.
I know them feelings. We pretty much got both a commentator and a babysitter in this video, even though it's only for brief moments. But
so I guess
yeah, go ahead, Logan.
I didn't know if there was anything that you guys were saying, or if there was a time where I would just, I don't know if I already mentioned in the last video my sort of overall feeling on the game.
I don't think you have, so why don't you go ahead and let us know real quick where you have to get back busy with the babies.
So, first I will forward this by saying that yes, I actually won the majority of matches I was in, so it's not like what I'm about to say is fueled by salt or anything. I only lost a headlock, I think, twice, and that was when he had that's when they, it's when he had, like, Master Mummy's body, so he'd be, like, completely impervious to being, like, stunned. That's when I got a little cheap, especially when he had the heavy arms. Anyway, so moving on. So this isn't being fueled by salt, because I did win a couple of them. I don't know if that actually justifies my opinion or not. Anyway, headlock. I'll just say right now, I did enjoy the game. I just don't think it's a game that I personally could get really invested in, which is why I'm choosing not to purchase it. James, explain to them headlock.
Explain Metal Krang who needs to die.
Yeah, I was about to say, as Steve calls him, Metalhead Krang. Basically, he's essentially the mid-boss of ARMS. He'll attach his head onto any random opponent, and it looks like in this case he's attached to a character that's actually not even in the Testpunch yet, or at all. Bark and Bite. But anyway, basically he'll attach to any random character's head, and he has access to at least 6 fucking arms on his disposal.
At one time.
Yeah. Now, to make up for that, you're practically paired up with 2 other fighters in order to beat him down. And that being said, each headlock match is kind of randomized because every time you fight him, he's always fighting under a different level. Like here, he's on level 4, so he's not too much of a problem now. But wait till you fight him in level 6.
I tried level 5 and already. And again, he can have different arms. Like he can have boomerangs. Like right now, it looks like he has the normal toaster. He looks like he has the tri-punches and the blorbs from Helix.
I hate this guy. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, that's good to know you won't be watching any more of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles if he becomes the main star.
No, I just mean this character. Not Crank himself. I'm fine with Crank.
But yeah, that's my whole nice.
Woohoo!
That's my current that's my current stance in the game. I'm definitely gonna can't believe it's already next week is E3, and
let alone the release of ARMS itself, because again, this game comes out on the 16th.
So I do look forward to watching some tournaments and seeing people fight online. That'll be fun. I just don't think this is something that I could readily get into all the time. It's just fighting games never really my thing.
By the way, can I just mention something real quick? I just realized one of the Helix players literally is made of freaking soda.
Huh.
Look at the color of his skin.
It's the Dr. Pepper Helix, man.
Oh God,
What?
he stands no chance against me.
Oh no, actually no, that looks more like Crush Orange.
Oh, never mind then.
Oh well. So and that we're the orange team. This is so weird. Anyways, yeah, that's about Helix. He is also welcome. This is a lab where they make helixes, as you can see by the tube. That's a black. Anyway, that's about all I can offer. But Twintel, I did think was actually pretty fun. Like her style is nice. The new game mode is alright, although again, the fact that the basketball challenge is literally just grab, and if you land a grab, you win.
It is what it is. Well, it is what it is. I didn't mind it personally. Oh, by the way, I'm also playing as Logan's main, Ribbon Girl, who actually, according to a recent poll, she was actually the one with the most ruin rates out of all the test punches.
It's all about jumping and getting the high ground and keeping it.
I guess so. And also her electric toasters.
That too. Stunning and disabling their arms.
That being said, Springman's still my main, even though he's about as basic as good old Mario. Oh, oops, I got blorbed.
Speaking of Springman,
see, kids, that's why you pick Springman.
His hair reminds me of those Nike the shoestrings where they're all like twisted at the end.
Kind of.
Or toothpaste.
Toothpaste. I also get Cheeto swirls with those.
Cheeto swirls. I haven't had those in a long while.
But for now, that's unfortunately all I'll be able to stay on for this episode. I'll be going, but I'll be in the next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Aww.
See you later, man.
Bye.
Sad thing is, Logan's going to miss out on an epic comeback I do in one of the later matches. But anyway, here's the other minigame that they introduced with the Test Punch. This is the skill shot, and it could be you could either be on teams or one-on-one. But basically, all you have to do is, well, break all the targets. Now, if you want, what I'm trying to say here, you have to break the targets, but you're also allowed to hit the other opponents for additional points.
Yeah, this mode I didn't really mind so much. Like, I think I only played it once, and I think I won just by, pure luck with the other character getting the lion's share of the targets. But aside from that, I didn't mind it that badly.
Gotcha. I mean, I personally don't mind it. That being said, I do kind of have a little bit more of a soft spot for v-ball and basketball, but that's just me. I mean, who doesn't love a good old game of Grab-a-Palooza?
Lots of people.
Yeah. I mean... shit. I mean... Okay, so you've seen a good chunk of how this game works, Jordy. I mean, does it interest you in any sort of way?
Alright, I may as well say my overall opinion on this now that I'm actually paying attention. I'm so sorry, by the way. That was very rude of me.
Thank you, kitty cat.
You're welcome. But anyways...
Oh, what a happy little green blob. Even though he lost.
Yeah, and anyways, from what I've seen so far with this, well, when I first looked at the thumbnail from, the first Test Punch, I guess, that he posted, I'm like, what is this? Because, like, I didn't get the whole point of ARMS, like, the characters and whatnot, like, well, is there a reason why they are the way they are?
Actually, it's funny you say that, Jordy, because recently Nintendo have actually been going out of their way to post some very small lore behind this game. Now, I kind of take this with a grain of salt, but apparently the reason some of these characters have their stretchy arms is due to the masks that they wear.
The masks?
Yeah, the mask or headgear that they wear. Now, I wouldn't say that's entirely the case, because at that point, I kind of wonder why Mechanica, the character I'm fighting right now, is dealing with the robotic suit. Even though she could totally she could totally rock some arms if she put on a goddamn mask. But
so you're saying that when you wear the mask, your arms magically are turned like that, or is it mechanical?
It's basically like I guess magical would be the best way to put it. Not that that's saying much though, because I'm clearly playing as a mummy.
Actually, just to add on to that argument you made about the mask versus suit and whatnot, my argument is that her arms are clearly being powered by this mecha. What's the point of wearing the mask?
She's not. Well, I guess the headgear isn't the kind that gives her the arms. I don't know. It's some weird bullshit. I kind of prefer what the original justification for it was, where like some of these people just either they were born with them or they just got them one day. They just said, "Cool." I mean, I totally would have bought it. I mean, this game clearly is not meant for like the hardcore lore. Like these guys are clearly very basic types of characters. Like again, I'm playing as a giant mummy, and Twintail here. I mean, she still has her arms naturally, but apparently she could use her own freaking ponytails as the quote unquote arms.
Actually, speaking
I
of which,
thought that was pretty interesting.
Since she's new to this, Test Punch, do you want to explain her mechanics? Since you kind of went pretty in depth with the last Test Punch.
That is true. Yeah, I'll go ahead and bring that up real quick. Twintail, I'll give credit. I actually do like Twintail from a gameplay standpoint. She can hover in the air, kind of like Mechanica can. I don't think it lasts as long though. Another thing she can do is that if she lands from her jump, her arms are automatically charged up. But that doesn't mean jack squat when I just slam dunk her to the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, normally the only way you can charge up a character's arms is if you guard for a certain amount of time.
Either guard or don't use your arms for a specific amount of time. Usually the guard is faster.
And just to bring Jordan up to speed, each of the different characters, they all have like their different attributes. Like the bigger characters, like the Mummy and Mechanica, who's honestly one of the few characters I was able to really get into. They don't flinch, and I'm trying to think. They have that, and I think Mechanica has like this air dash of sorts, doesn't she?
Yeah, she has an. Oh, actually, everyone has an air dash, though. Basically, Mechanica just hovers. Master Mummy, on the other hand, yeah, you just keep pretending you're a fucking monkey. Master Mummy, when he guards, he slowly heals himself. Now, that may seem overpowered at first, but you technically can grab your opponent when they're guarding, so that only amounts to so much. In fact, I think that's only really useful in like party matches of like 3 or 4 people.
Mm-hmm. Let me see. Trying to think.
Other special.
Oh, sorry.
Other specials include, again, my main Spring Man, who, once he's at a low enough health, he practically he's automatically charged no matter what. Like, you'll always have his arms charged up. Basically, it's a pinch mode. Ribbon Girl, she can jump multiple times, which I guess could be the reason why she's won the most matches, even though I don't think it's that beneficial. Ninjara can do an air dash, which lets them disappear in a puff of smoke and pretty much avoid any arms that are coming into contact with him while he does so.
It's basically a short-range teleport.
Basically, yeah. Let me try to remember. Min when she does her air dash, she literally kicks, which basically deflects any arms that come her way. Mechanica we already mentioned, and Helix is an odd motherfucker. Basically, what his whole gimmick is that because of his stretchy anatomy and all that, if you hold down the jump button, he doesn't jump automatically, but rather he extends his entire torso, which allows him to practically move himself around and dodge any arms that come his way.
I see.
Now, I did make sure to play as every character again this time, like I did last time, and again, as you may have already seen, I did give a little more attention to those that I only glanced over in the last video. Like, I did give some time to Master Mummy and Ribbon Girl, so I hope you fans are happy. And I did give my fair share of time to Twintail, even though this is the first time she appeared, so yeah.
There's also, what am I trying to say? Twintail's the new character that they add to this, but there's also 2 other characters that they also announced.
Yeah, they announced Bark and Bite, which are pretty much a robotic duo. Bite is pretty much a policeman robot, while Bark is his robotic canine. Mm-hmm. And basically his whole gimmick, from what I remember, is that K9 is basically like a little helper for Bark, and I think he can actually use him as a footstool. Which is kind of funny in a way. The other character that is also coming to ARMS, which I'm kind of sad doesn't get any more love, is Kid Cobra. Basically, he's well, honestly, I don't know that much about what he's all about, so we'll have to wait and see how he plays when the game actually comes out.
All I know is that he has very colorful padding all around his body.
No kidding. And he's got a torso that's about as long, if not longer, than Helix's. Actually, I should go ahead and reiterate from the first one, since Jordy's new to this. I think what will make or break this game for you is primarily the arm selection of the characters. Because just for the Testpunch, each character has 3 default arms at their disposal. Like in Minmin's case here, she has the dragon, the giant Electro Ball, and a fidget spinner.
A fidget spinner. Why am I not surprised?
Yeah, several characters in this game do have a fidget spinner, and they're all custom made depending on, well, the character.
And
the dog's clearly not happy.
Yeah, sorry about that. Mom's playing with the dogs. Yeah, that is something that we should probably deal upon. In case you didn't notice, at the beginning of each match, you actually get to select 3 different types of weapons that each arm of yours can do. They all have, like, their different attributes. Like, some of them, like the mallet, pretty much... Some of them are kind of tricky and they're alright. Like, the mallet, I think it's like, when you punch forward, it'll extend, but you have to do the punch again in order for the mallet to actually hit down.
I don't think you have to punch it again. It's sort of delayed in a way, but it does cause quite a bit of damage. So in the meanwhile, I'm doing another headlock fight. Only this time I'm paired up with the Min sister. So I swear to God, it seems like a trend with me. Whenever I do like these online matches or whatever, I tend to see a lot of Min paired up with each other.
Well, Min's a really popular character.
I know she is, and I don't blame them. I mean, well, her design's nice for one thing, and even though I think the dragon isn't horribly situational, her Electro Ball and Fidget Spinner are actually pretty neat, nifty arms. Also, I just realized this is actually the one fight where I had probably the most epic comeback I've ever had in an arms match.
Ah, nice.
You'll see what I mean in just a bit, but yeah, let's just say starting off, I was getting my ass whooped. I mean, I'm clearly close to death's door right now.
Yep. By the way, those
gosh.
bombs randomly, they'll drop bombs randomly. You have to punch them towards your opponent before they explode on you. And also another thing, I don't think James has shown it off yet, but occasionally there'll be balls that fall down. Depending on the color that it is, it'll refill one of your meters if you stand within its radius. A green bottle refills your health, and a yellow bottle refills your little meter that charges your hyper punches.
Wait, did you both get KO'd?
Yeah, we got KO'd at the exact same time, but the important thing is he got KO'd at the same time as I did, so we won the match regardless. You're welcome, by the way!
Or I don't know, save the world. You're welcome.
Yeah.
It just makes me think of Moana with the sorry, we're getting off topic here, but what was I gonna say? Anyways, what more was I gonna say? So I get that this is mostly a fighting game. From what you told me, it was like it's somewhat similar or has a bit of a vibe similar to Smash Brothers, where it doesn't really have too much of a story to it.
Punch Out, I would say, is the more accurate comparison because, again, they don't claim it's like a full-on boxing game, though I kind of call a foul on that. Though I guess in a way you could call it Rock'em Sock'em waifus and stuff.
Yeah.
But am I right? It doesn't have too much of a story.
Oh no, it doesn't. It purely focuses on the fact that it's a fighting game, and they stick to that.
But do each characters have their own like personality that you can look into or something like that?
In a way, yeah, because I mean, there's nothing too grand. Like for example, Helix here, or another place he's called DNA Man, is basically an experiment from ARMS Technologies that pretty much became his own entity and fighter. And even though I usually suck with this character, I actually am having pretty good luck so far. But,
yeah, I'm kind of surprised, because I do have to agree with James. I found Helix to be really, compared to the other characters, really hard to get a handle on.
Gotcha!
Nice.
Flubber just took out the Hollywood star. Take that, Robin. Oh, wait a minute. That might be a little too soon.
Clayman.
Yes, he still does look an awful lot like Clayman. And I did forget to show off that Andrew Dickman fan art to you guys. I'll do that later. Anyway, yeah, Helix is the hardest one to handle because again, you pretty much have to extend by holding down the jump button. You extend your body. You can pretty much deflect as much as you want. Though I will say his arm selection kind of sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to end things off, I'm gonna play with my good old main Springman. No, not to be confused with the Robot Master from Mega Man 7.
So, from what all you've seen, do you think there's any particular character you would gravitate towards, Jordan, if by any chance you decide to play this game?
I think if I to try to play this game, I honestly don't know if this is the game for me, but if I were, I want to say maybe, what's her name? Telltale? How do you...
Twintel.
I think maybe Twintel or, what's the name of that girl with the robot suit?
Mechanica.
Mechanica.
Yeah, Mechanica I think is a really good choice, especially for beginners, because her ability to not flinch helps give newcomers quite a bit of leeway.
Yeah, and her hover ability is not too bad either. And again, her arms are actually pretty fun to use. But alas, she is nothing against the might of the balanced Spring Man.
Who coincidentally
But
was
yeah.
the one character I lost the most to.
Aww. Well, that's just the power of toasters.
But yeah, just to conclude my insight of this game, even though fighting games are one of my favorites, I honestly don't know if this one is the right one for me. Like, maybe this is something my brother could get into. If he had the game, maybe I could try it out, but otherwise, I don't know if I'd really want to play it. Like, I don't know, it just seems a little wacky for me.
That's fair.
Oh, but Jordy, you seem all about the whack with all of our conversations.
I know, I don't know. It's a weird opinion, I guess I should say, but it does look interesting a little bit. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, the
I'm
bottom
rambling.
line is this ARMS is kind of an acquired taste, which is kind of a shame because I think its characters are very memorable from a design standpoint, and just the shit that they can do. But yeah, I mean, if it wasn't obvious from all of the salty comments that Steve left, well, yeah. Meanwhile, you got me, who, honestly, I'm going to get this day one, because I had a lot of fun with what I played, and again, much like Splatoon, they're pretty much going to do a lot of free updates with this game, and I'm kind of hoping that they do some really extravagant ones, like, oh, I don't know, Little Mac is a DLC fighter. But in any case, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the ARMS Global Test Punch. The next time we get into this game, it'll be for realsies this time, I promise, and I'll actually bring along Matt and Iki for the ride, because they really want to get in the action too. But with that said, I'm JamesmanXtreme.
I'm Jordan the Cat 11.
And I anticipate all the people that are calling me an idiot for hating this game.
Answer to call the arms, ladies and gentlemen, on June 16th. Rated E for everyone. Or wait, E10, my bad. Till next time, guys.
Bye.
Bye.